My name is Audrey Pennington, and today I'm going to be talking about political polarization and its effects on relationships for my social psychology presentation. Political polarization is the growing gap between Democrats and Republicans, conservatives and liberals. This graphic shows the growing difference between the two over a 20-year gap. In the recent years, this gap has only widened. Today, I want to talk about how the gap has caused tension and division between people all over the United States, among family members, closest of friends, coworkers, and even strangers. Political polarization has affected all kinds of social interactions, and I believe it has been a negative effect. Throughout this presentation, I am going to give several examples of how its effects have been shown across multiple environments. The first thing I want to discuss is the effect that political polarization has among strangers. Even the sight of seeing another person supporting a candidate is enough to cause tension among strangers. Even something as small as a political piece of clothing, yard signs, or a car bumper sticker can cause outrage and a prejudgment about an individual they know nothing about. In recent, I have noticed these things heighten, and judgments have been made about a person based on whether or not they are wearing a mask. Thoughts such as, "Oh, they must be a Democrat," or "There's no way that they aren't a Republican," cross people's minds and create an immediate distance between themselves and the individual despite not knowing anything about them. These immediate judgments are closing doors for new friendships and relationships through public interaction, in grocery stores, college classrooms, and work environments. I have noticed that political polarization is most prevalent on social media, particularly because of the algorithms that are created to best fit the viewer. In addition, individuals will reshare posts simply because their friends did, so it must be valid. This being said, it is easy for individuals to only see posts made by one political party. In fact, I saw many tweets from some of my followers that said things such as, "If you support Trump, please unfollow me," or "Good morning to everyone except for those who voted for Biden." These tweets show that individuals are willing to lose friends and followers over their political beliefs. It also shows that the motivation for online political arguments is not to hear the other perspective, but mainly to ensure that their own perspective is heard. When there are disagreements, the alternative viewpoint is rarely listened to, and the arguments usually escalate to several things, including but not limited to name-calling, character attacks, and ultimately no compromises are made. Most of the time, the individuals feel the need to convince the other side why their perspective is wrong. This ultimately leads to social media arguments that last hours with no true resolution. I chose to categorize friends and family together because most of the interactions I have witnessed and experienced are similar among both friends and family. Most of the time when conversations come up that are political, it goes one of two ways. The topic is either tackled with full force and ends poorly, or is avoided altogether and becomes taboo. Within my own family, I have noticed that there are certain topics we just do not discuss unless absolutely necessary. However, I have also seen the negative consequences that occur when topics are discussed. In one instance, a mother and son quit speaking over a political yard sign. Among friends, I have noticed that the topics such as vaccinations and masks are avoided by some, and other friends will keep asking until they get the response that they are looking for. Ultimately, political issues have created division in marriages, among coworkers, friends, and family. In conclusion, political polarization is having a negative effect on relationships across the United States. It is causing significant damage to existing relationships in families, marriages, and friendships. But more alarming is the fact that it is causing damage to potential relationships. As we discussed earlier, interactions with strangers and social media interactions are having a significant negative effect on the ability for new friendships to be formed. However, more than that, the diversity of friendships is slowly decreasing. It is very rare to find close friend groups where each person carries their own beliefs without offending the others. In the cancel culture that we now live in, it is easier to pretend that those who do not agree with us are non-existent than to listen to what they have to say, despite whether we agree or not. Overall, I think that political polarization will lead to small circles becoming smaller. In other words, people will begin to only hang out with, marry, and be friends with those who have similar beliefs, and this will lead to the gap between political parties increasing furthermore.